Welcome to Life Peak TV, and on Political Sky today I have a visitor. Maybe he introduce himself, and maybe we can talk more about the political structure in the country. Welcome.
So I'm Collins Wandera Ongudi, a student of political science and public administration in my fourth year of specialization in political science, public administration. If I might define what is politics, politics is who gets what, when, and how. And politics also in layman language is a zero-sum game, meaning that when you involve yourself in politics, there is a possibility that you'll gain or you'll lose, no matter what you have invested in the politics that you are playing. My presenter, my friend has asked me to say something on politics of Kenya. Since 1963 to date, the politics of Kenya have been based on interest. People will always draw their political line based on what I want to get from this politics. Today, we have seen Gachagua and Ruto, for example, they are not together. Why? Because we have the interest of Gachagua and Ruto. They are not aligned in one line. That's why we see all these political wrangles. That's why we see right now Gachagua is a threat to Ruto, and Ruto is a threat to Gachagua. And the man who is there, and this is a man of who knows what is politics, Raila Amolo Odinga. He knows what he wants in politics. That's why in my definition, I said politics is who gets what, when, and how. Thank you.
Okay, when we stick on issues to do with Gachagua, like recently he said the president went out. He's out of the country in US. But Gachagua is the second commander, but he was not informed about the traveling strategies of the president. What does it show as a country? Because the office of the president is a symbol of unity. But what they're showing is contrary to what Kenyans are expecting. What does it show?
What I might say about the character of Ruto and Gachagua right now, those are politics. We don't know who is telling us the truth, and we don't know who is telling us the lies. But in reality, I was reading something in the morning, and I was following on the page of Robert Alai. Robert Alai was saying that the so-called offices of deputies, they should be scrapped out, because these offices, they have just created work for people, but in real sense we don't have their work. Because unless, since I was born, I've never had a deputy president representing Kenya in any political arena, in any economic arena outside Kenya. But they will just represent the president when he is not in. Ruto's visit to the USA, yesterday, the DP said he's not aware. And as I've told you, politics is who gets what, when, and how. So right now, it is like the house of Ruto, it is not conducive. Ile mitego ambayo Ruto Gachagua said ametega pale State House ni kama yote iliteguka. And that is how leadership is sometimes. Political leadership is like that. After Ruto gaining power, right now he's sharing with other people. It's like you convincing a girl, at the end of the day you begin a life with her, then after you are thriving in life, then you say, oh, my dear Diambo, we are not again in a relationship. That is what is happening in Ruto Raila Gachagua relationship. And if I might tell you, the question that I'm expecting Kenyans to ask themselves, will the relationship between Ruto and Raila continue even after AUC chairperson elections? We have probability that it will fail. Thank you.
Okay, to speak on that, within the last week, we saw over 40 MPs from Mount Kenya region endorsing Kindiki as the mountain spokesperson. What does it show? Are they trying to disgrace the deputy?
The politics of 2027, for example, they began all the way in 2022. That is what I can say. Politics, are good politicians normally strategizes. You see, we have one of the philosophers who said that strategy is stronger than strength in life. They are just strategizing, my brother. And they have seen that if they take we have two possibilities. Is either they want to make sure that Gachagua is a nobody on the mountain, or they want to make sure that they get resources or they get what they want from Ruto. So we have two possibilities. But who is a kingpin, to be sincere? If someone might ask you, who is a kingpin in politics? Who is a kingpin in life? Who is a kingpin in football? A kingpin is someone who is able to control. He can control. When he says let's go left, people goes left. When he says people let's go right, they go right. So this, you see, politics is the kingpin of Mount Kenya. To be sincere, is Uhuru Kenyatta. Is the one who controls the Mount Kenya. Mlima, mtu ambaye huko ni nabii wa kweli ni Uhuru Kenyatta. But what I can say about Uhuru Kenyatta ni kwamba he's a silent man. He's the engine of Mount Kenya, but he does not want people to know that he is the kingpin of the mountain.
On that, yesterday, Rigathy Gachagua, in fact, regretted when he used disgusting words against Uhuru Kenyatta. This time he's apologizing. Do you want to say Rigathy Gachagua was used to dismantle Uhuru Kenyatta in 2022 elections in the mountain region?
What I might say about the Uhuru Rigathi relationship. Let's remember that once Rigathi was a personal assistant to Uhuru Kenyatta. If you are very keen, he was the personal assistant to Uhuru Kenyatta. Right now, they parted ways, and that's how politics is. Politics, it is dirty in nature. Today you might be my friend politically, but tomorrow you'll be my enemy. That's why I do tell people in politics, there is no permanent enemy in politics. And there is no permanent friend in politics. And if you want to be a good politician, then have a clean heart. Be welcoming. And politics, if we want to make our politics clean, let's base our politics on ideologies, not who brings what and how. But what ideologies do you have for Kenya? That is what you see. The Mlima in its nature, Mlima is populated, and Mlima in essence, Mlima are the best. They are the owners of production. You see, in any economic society, in any economic perspective, we do have two classes. We have the bourgeoisie and the proletariats. The bourgeoisie are the owners of production. So in Kenya, the people of the mount are the owners of production. So the relationship between Rigathi and Uhuru right now is like Rigathi is simping. And that is how sometimes we normally say that you have to tame your tongues in politics or in any relationship. in social relationship, in friendship, you have to tame your tongues. Because your enemy today might be your friend tomorrow. But what Rigathi has to know is that Raila is a friend to Uhuru. And Raila is a friend to Ruto, I mean. So Raila is in between here. So what right now Rigathi is praying is the failure of Raila in AUC chair. That is what he's praying. That is what his prayer. Because after the failure of Raila, he will come back and tell Raila, I told you Ruto is not the best person to support you.
Okay, mountain politics is quite interesting. But to sum up on mountain politics, we have seen Kikuyu MP, that's Kimani Ichung'wah. Do you think the president is using Kimani Ichung'wah to compress Gachagua politically? Because he has been seen in most parts of mountain region uh, talking about negative things about the DP. And mostly, you can also explain it's the president also has a hand in DP's disgrace around Mount Kenya.
What I might say about Ichung'wah, you see, I define for you, for our viewers and for the people who will following us, first, what is politics? Politics is a game of interest. Politics is a dirty game. Then, if we might you see, Kimani Ichung'wah is the, I think, majority whip in the parliament. Majority leader. So what does this mean? He meets the president every now and then. Are you sure that Ruto does not see what Kimani normally says about his DP? He normally sees. And even I am a chairperson somewhere. I'm a president somewhere, for example. I've never allowed someone to talk ill of my executives because they are the controllers of that system. So I'm not very sure, or I'm not insane to say that it is like Ruto knows what is happening. And as I've told you, by 2025 next year, we will know if, but the way it is like Rigathi won't be the darling, the best candidate on DP slot next politics.
Okay, thank you. Now we embark on Adani opekism. We have seen the governments want to lease the JKIA for 30 years. And there have been so many opekism questions on why Adani? Why Adani?
If I might say, to me, if you want to be a good leader, especially in, you see, leadership, either church leadership, either political leadership, either family leadership, you have to come up with solutions. The problem that Kenyans are facing right now are economic problems. In Kenya, we don't have political problems because we have political stability in Kenya. People, we normally experience some political instability after elections. But after 1-2 months of of general elections, we have stability in this country. The problem that we have economic stability. If they might lease this JKIA, how many Kenyans will lose their jobs? If I might ask, how many Kenyans will lose their jobs? What President Ruto might have done could have been every county to have its own industry. We need industrial revolution in Kenya. Leasing and what have you does not help Kenyans right now. Because if the people of the workers and the staffs of JKIA had some strikes on the Adani issue, who am I to support it? Who am I to support it? And if you are very keen, on the Adani issue, is it going to make Kenya grow? For 30 years. Right now I'm around 24 years. Plus 30, that is 54. That is when Kenyans will be given back. That is a lot of years. We will lose a lot of money on that issue.
Okay, and on Adani, it was in Switzerland where its accounts was freezed due to its illegal allegations. Do you think JKIA will be safe in the hands of Adani?
That's why I'm saying, if in Switzerland or any other country, you see, as Kenyans, you cannot allow something that belongs to you, even this cloth of yours, you can't allow it to be shared for almost even 1 week. So the thing there is, we don't go by the history of Adani, but we go with what is ailing Kenyans. Can Adani come in Kenya and also build another airport? Can Adani come in Kenya and produce energy? Can Adani come in Kenya and construct roads, construct highways? You see, this is something that is in existence. We have so very many things that we as Kenyans, we are in need of. And then, to me, Adani could have come in this way and say, we want one county, and then we are going to construct there an airport. We need one county, and we are going to produce there textile. We need one county, and we are going to assemble there to manufacture there motor vehicles. So that were they thinking of creating jobs? Because this one, they will not be creating jobs because they will come with their own policies. And as long as we have given them, then what next is Kenyans of goodwill will lose their jobs.
Yeah, okay. And the president was planning like to now like he has already leased KICC and he's now on JKIA. He was planning to lease pipeline. It's like he's escaping to fund these organizations, these cooperatives. Like he's aiming at gaining revenue from them, collecting revenue from them. Does it have a positive impact on the Kenyan economy for now?
If we lease all these, we call them parastatals in a layman's language, or in those people who went to school very well. They normally call them corporations, state corporations, or parastatals. What is a parastatal? This is an investment that belongs to the government. And if the government, why then belong to the government? It's like you have a wife, you have a girlfriend today, or you have a wife today, then you fail to maintain her. Then the girlfriend does not look for the boyfriend. You are the one who is looking for the boyfriend. You look for a boyfriend for this girlfriend of yours. To me, it's impossible. To me, it doesn't make sense. To me, it's opaque. Because if these things belongs to the government, and they were there so that the government can get something from them, why then lease them? To the economy, they have both positive and negative impact. The positive one is it will have an account. The Adani thing, it will have an account. It will have accountability. Because the problem that we have in Kenya is all about accountability. People are corrupt. That is what we have in Kenya. What the president should fight is all about corruption in these bigger offices. And then after that, we create jobs through creation of more industries. The negative one is that we will not be able to hold these accounts. They will just give us some percentages. Because if we do a deal today on JKIA and we say per month they will be giving us 1 million. And for example, they come and collect 10 million. They will just give you that 1 million that you had an agreement with them. So it will make us lose a lot of money.
Yeah, and the president has been in the office for approximately 2 years for now, and he has gone to he has had over 67 flights. Right now, he's in US. All these flights, what have they impacted in the country economic wise?
So it is not that I hate President William Ruto, but I have something that I have to share with you. I think it was during the era of, you can't compare during the era of Kibaki and Ruto era, as well as Uhuru era. President Kibaki was that president who was in Nairobi every now and then. He entrusted people who were around him. Because you can't tell me that we don't have an ambassador in USA. An ambassador is there. That is a diplomatic work. He is there for diplomatic engagements. Some of the issues we have, like nowadays we do have technology the way we are doing it right now. What President William Ruto is doing is not making, because if I might talk about presidencies in the world, the heads of states in the world, if you look at the so-called developed countries, the European countries, the poorest people there are the head of states, because they don't have a convoy, they don't have big cars, they don't fly. Most of them, you'll see them, they are in they even travel on foot. They even travel using motorbikes or bicycles. But you come to Kenya, a president has a convoy, for example, from here to Rongo town. That is a convoy. This convoy, when it is passing, it will force people to stop so that it can pass. That is wastage of the economy. The leaders that we have, they have to know that what is ailing Kenyans is just overspending. Someone is having a Mercedes Benz, someone is having a Lamborghini, someone is having a TX, these expensive cars. But you go to, I was talking to someone from Qatar, for example. This friend of mine was telling me, in Qatar, they are the one who pays people taxes. They pay you. You don't pay the country. At the end of the month, they calculate, we have 10 million. Then let's give each citizen, they put in your bank account 1,000, 1,000. Can Kenya afford that? Why? It cannot afford because of the leaders that we have. So these visits, they can be done with another person. The second thing, we've never, since President Ruto came, I've never seen any of his visit growing Kenyan economy. That is it from me.
And the president, in his consistent visits abroad, he has promised people jobs outside the country. Is there any evidence or some effects of these jobs? Are there some youths who have been employed outside the country, and by the we are who are benefiting from these foreign visits?
I want to be very precise. I want to be very open. We cannot create jobs outside the country. If I might, might ask you, how many Germans are working in Kenya? How many USAs are working in Kenya? How many Frenchmen are working in Kenya? We cannot produce jobs outside the country. What the administration of Kenya has to do, in essence, they have to create jobs inside Kenya.
Okay, thank you. To sum up now, Kenya has a candidate in AU chairmanship, and he is actually being supported by the government. Do you think the Raila's campaign strategies he's using will enable him to win the bid?
Why did he lose in 2022? Because the government supported him. Why did he lose? Because the government supported him. As young people, as people who want leadership positions in Kenya, it is not a must. And this one I want to tell every Kenyan. It's not a must that for you to become a leader, you have to be supported by the government. What is the intention of government in? That the reason why we are going back to my first statement, that politics is who gets what, when, and how.
Is Ruto support genuine?
It is not genuine. We have some of the things that are there so that if I give you, you give me. That is it. You see, politics is all about coming on the table. In politics, we don't just pick someone. For example, I want to ask you something on the way the broad-based government worked. Why did they just choose Wandai? Didn't they come for me? Because also I can be a good cabinet secretary for foreign affairs. I can be a very good cabinet secretary for finance. Why didn't they come for me? And if you look at the people who are there, mostly they are the people who do not have any academic credentials over the cabinets that they were given. So it is the same as Baba's case. Ruto is just supporting him so that he can move out of Kenyan politics. Ruto wants to win easier. That is it.
Maybe for remaining 1 minute, maybe tell Kenyans what what is going to happen, like if this relationship between the DP and the president continues in the political structure of the country.
In a political structure, because when we talk about political structure, we just mean the offices that are there. What is there and what Kenyans know is that Ruto Rigathi relationship is going to fail. That is what is there. And that's why we have so very many wrangles. So what is there, my brother, is, and take this to the bank, Rigathi will not be the best candidate for DP 2027.
Okay, thank you. It has been a political sky show on Live Pick TV. I'll see you next time. We have been with our guest here, Collins, a political analyst, who have been able to remove the fog of political spirit in our eyes. See you next time at the same place, at the same tune. Follow us on at Live Pick TV on all social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and like, subscribe, and we will update you on everything that is surfacing political wise. Thank you. See you next time. Inafaa tu kuinvite